So how often do they have to be fed?
Right now I'm doing every 4 hours.
Every 4 hours.
So they'll get fed again at 2.
So you heat the bottle up to about...
You know, whatever,
What should we give a baby?
yeah. Just,
So
you know,
as long
warm,
as it's
but not too hot.
Warm, but not too hot. If it feels too hot on the skin, you shouldn't use it.
Yeah. So right now these guys are like pooping and peeing up a storm, which is
So
good.
you stimulate their butts by rubbing their butt?
Yeah.
Because their mama would be licking their butt.
Right now they've all pooped though.
They've all pooped. You always make sure they poop. And if they don't poop, what do you do?
Give them an enema, basically.
Essentially, what, a syringe with some warm water?
Yeah, warm water and I think a little bit of soap.
And I think Allie's kind of helping in that department by licking their butts.
It's because she wants to eat the poop. No, pause.
Yeah.
Good girl.
But you want your dog exposed to little babies in controlled areas as well.
What are you doing with that paw? Stop. Don't you argue.
The towel is so that they don't slip all over the floor because their feet right now are wobbly and they can't get traction. So that's why we put a towel on the floor.
Yeah, because our floor is slippery.
Slippery floor. It's a little cold on the outside.
Yeah.
Why would be some of the reasons to bottle feed over letting them on the mom?
Makes them friendlier. They get, you know, friendly bottle-fed goats are a lot easier to handle, and, if you're gonna be, like, showing, it helps preserve, like, the udder and the way, the mom's udder looks.
Because the babies will get a favorite teat.
Yeah, babies will get a favorite teat.
And then
they'll stretch out the teat.
Stretch out the teat, and then you go to show the animal, and then one teat's bigger than the other.
Yeah, so if you want to keep it, you know, nice for showing and stuff, stop it. Stay. Oh my word. Ugh.
And then it's just bottle-fed babies. The advantage to that is they're much more easily handled when they become milkers.
Another thing, especially with triplets, is mom's only got 2 teats and she can only produce so much. So one of these guys, if they had been just strictly dam raised, would be smaller and would be kicked off the teat more often, which would probably be little Nova over here because you can see she's
she's smaller than the other 2.
There's always, if you have anything more than 2, there's almost always going to be a runt.
And then the others would be sucking the udder dry, and the other one, by the time it got up there, it would not have enough.
Yeah, and mom will only stand for so long for them to nurse.
So the weak one would not be getting enough.
Yeah.
And this way you can monitor everybody.
Yeah, I've read of some people that they don't necessarily bottle feed anybody, but they pull off anything over than 2. So if you got ones with quadruplets, you know, you leave only 2 on the mama and you bottle feed the other 2. So
yeah, sometimes you do get
and some people, when they have like just triplets like these, they'll just you know, supplement feeds. So get the small one, you know, used to bottle and give them a bottle every morning and evening type thing, but also give them access to mom and everything.
So how long will we be bottle feeding like this?
It's gonna go until about 12-13 weeks, which will be like April now.
And so, but we'll have a bucket. We're gonna have a bucket that you put
we're gonna get a
milk in the
nipple bucket, and then they'll go from 4 hours a day to pretty much just twice a day, and then just drinking off the nipple bucket.
How long do we do? 4 hours a day?
Until do it tomorrow, and then Monday, since I have stuff I've got to do.
And you start going, probably Monday you'll start going.
It'll do just like 3 times a day.
And then that's about for 4 times a day for about 3 days, and then 3 times a day.
Yeah. So it'll go for like 3 times a day, probably for the majority of next week.
Were you up several times last night?
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily up several times. It's just I went to bed late. I woke up in the middle of the night, and I woke up really early in the morning.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
So it's like I fed them at 10, and then I woke up at 2, and then I fed them again at like 5:36.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always keep them a little bit on the hungry side. Yeah, you never want to fill them up.
So see, they would eat a little bit.
They would eat a bit more, but you always want to keep them just a touch on the hungry side. Because that's the way they would be. That's the way they would be on the mom.
Move. Down.
That's the way they would be on the mom. They would always get a little bit, then get a little bit more later on. So you want to simulate that.
Yeah, just leave them a little bit hungry.
All right.
It's not all that hard to do.